Or for each generation, there's one leading cellist in a way. Like today, it's Yo-Yo Ma. No doubt, there's the Yo-Yo Ma. But that was not of my. When I studied, it was still Rostropovich. And Mrs. Rostropovich, he was a very different player of the cello playing today. Today, the cello playing is getting more and more elegant. Rostropovich was a force of nature. You would hear him play, and it was a little bit like something, an earthquake happening or something, yeah? Something which would change you. You would go into the concert, and Rostropovich would sit there and put his bow down, and you would hear this massive sound and this incredible power he had also, physical power. And that inspired us very much. So we were all a little bit, when we were young, playing in this direction. There's a lot of power and a lot of passion. When you record, you really have to channel through that little microphone, or the many microphones, but you have to channel your ideas through this filter of the microphone, and you can't convince anybody with motions or with your projection in the hall. You really have to basically express yourself through just the sound. Sound bites travel and travel around the world, and there's all these services to stream or to download and to buy the CD or whatever, and I think it builds your relationship with the audience. But I see a big change recently in this, and I think it's going from sound to picture. Experience playing in this competition and being observed by cello colleagues, by audiences, by a lens, and being watched in China or in Africa or in South America, that is the experience, what I talked about, like with the recording, which will stay with them. Because I think audiences don't necessarily want someone who wins every battle. We can lose some. It's the hero gets scars and gets wounded and almost loses his life, and in the end maybe succeeds. So it's not a problem to have a weak moment and to show weakness. I think to show weakness is human, and it's very important to, in this competition, not to try to avoid to show your strong and your weak sides. It's very human, I think. It's a moment of disappointment. That's no way around. I mean, for us also the hardest job. We have to send in each round about half of the contestants home, and it's not our favorite thing to do, as you can imagine. And I think for us, it's also some consolidation to talk to the contestants, say, look, I made my notes, and it says you played this adagio in this sonata so beautifully, or they might not know. They might think they played entirely badly, or they think they're entirely unfairly treated. So once we look at our notes and we tell them a few details, they can relate better maybe to the result, and they can relate better to the fact that this moment was not for them, or this success was not for them. But my advice would be not to overestimate this moment. It's more the journey you have with your own cello playing, or the journey you have with your listeners.